welcome to the Start from the Heart Gratitude podcast. You see on my screen, and if you're not watching on YouTube, you'll hear in a moment the voice of one of my closest friends. And quickly, the story 2012, I'm walking out of a Cal State Fullerton event to the valet, just waiting for my car, and I see this good-looking Asian guy, turns out Vietnamese American, and you're going to hear that in a second. Also standing waiting for his car. And as you tend to do at these things, you strike up a conversation. Little did I know that the choice I made that day to attend that event and to walk out precisely when I did and to strike up a conversation with this guy right here would literally change my life. Every friendship I have has made an impact on me in one way or another, but there are very few that have had the impact on me that my relationship with Tam Nguyen has had. Tam is co-owner of Advanced Beauty College in Orange County, California, with his beautiful sister Lynn. Second generation. I've had the joy of knowing his parents. Met his dad here, but then also had the opportunity with Tam to visit him in Vietnam back in 2019 when we took a group of students from Cal State Fullerton to Vietnam with our family business class. So Tam, I could probably spend the entire time of this podcast this morning introducing you and telling story after story. There's, as you know, because we text and talk pretty much every day and have probably since we met. The love I have for you is off the charts. And when I think of gratitude for people in my life, it's hard for me to not start with my friendship and relationship with you. So welcome this morning, and thanks for joining me this early Friday morning.
Thank you, chosen brother Ed. What a heartfelt introduction. I appreciate you as you shared how we met back in 2012. I remember it very clearly as well. You've changed my life. You being a part of my life has made it so much fulfilling, and you bring me so much joy. I loved right after we met that we discovered quickly the connection on the word heart. As you spell heart, H-A-R-T, I quickly also shared with you that my name Tam in Vietnamese also means heart.
I love that. I love that heart to heart connection that you and I joke about, but it's not a joke. It's real. Anytime Tam and I get together, it's really awesome because I guess what I hope this morning that a message that maybe any of you listening or watching today, or whenever you watch or listen to this, will get is that connections with people are real. And it doesn't always have to look the way you think it might look. I mean, obviously, if you're looking on the screen, I'm a white guy from Southern California. Tam's Vietnamese American. We have about a 10-year age difference. I won't say which of us is older. You can figure that out pretty easily just by looking at me and looking at him. But yeah, there was from that minute we met, that heart to heart, no pun intended, with your name, Tam, meaning heart, and my last name, Heart, and then my podcast, From the Heart, and just all the things that you and I do. We both tend to lead and have relationships that start with our heart. So when you think of leading with your heart, not the podcast title or anything, but you do, why is that so important to you, and what comes to mind when you think about that? And then we'll dive into gratitude here in a minute.
Sure. Well, leading with heart is so critical. I mean, we'll tie it into gratitude too, but for me, that it ties into love. I mean, heart is the symbol of love.
Right.
Love is the most powerful, positive emotion that a human can have. And for me, and and I can't help but we're going into Father's Day weekend. This Sunday will
Yeah.
be Father's Day. You mentioned you met my father. I had the honor of meeting your late father. Our
Yeah.
fathers are both watching down on us now, and we're both fathers. We often talk about being fathers.
Yeah.
So, so as our most important title, in fact, as fathers, but when I think of heart, if I had to simply put it, Ed, it's just love.
Yeah.
And my father, as you know, his another thing, you got to speak at my late father's celebration of
Yeah.
life.
One of the biggest honors of my life was getting to do that.
Honor was our family's, and as you know, my father's favorite quote was, "Wherever you go, you go with all of your heart.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And that's,
love that.
I
It's
mean, if that's my North Star and I'm his son,
yeah.
and I could still remember that on a daily basis, as he watches down on us, that's it makes it easy to lead with heart when that's your legacy and the most important hero in your own life, that, led with that.
I love that because I've often said that my favorite people are people who are authentic, and I think what makes people authentic is their presence. When someone is with you, you can tell they are with you. And I've noticed that about you. When you and I are together, there's a million places that we could be. And you and I both, I think, have a reputation for being in a lot of different places. And you in particular, I always joke that Tam is probably one of quintuplets or more because somehow, I've talked to his wife, his sister, his employees, his coworkers, his community colleagues, and Tam doesn't miss anything. Somehow you're everywhere. So I am convinced that there's more than one of you. But no, you
You're
have
my twin brother, right? You're my twin brother.
yeah, you've earned that reputation of someone who is present wherever you go, and that means so much to people. So, and I will kind of tee that up into that word gratitude. When you think of the word gratitude, whether it's the people in your life or
Mhm.
anything, just what comes to mind right away when you hear the word gratitude?
When I think of the word gratitude, of course, I think of the people in my life, but I connect it to love.
Yeah.
To me, gratitude's the precursor to love.
Hmm.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
which which is my most ultimate, and with that, a slew of other positive emotions that come with it. I think of trust. I think of joy. When I often say, "Gosh, my heart feels so full today. I'm overflowing with gratitude." I think of that joy, the love, the trust, and I think of relationships, Ed. Our chosen brotherhood, but of course, the people that you mentioned that are closest to me in my life. My wife Christine, my sister Lynn at the business, my mom, my three children, and all my chosen family at each of the organizations that I'm part of. That's being present for them, and that's gratitude. That's all gratitude. Gratitude feels to me to be the hub with all these spokes.
I love that. When you think of people in your life that are full of gratitude, what do you see in them that gives you that indication? Yeah, that person has a grateful heart. I mean, other than the words, and words are cheap,
Yeah.
which is
It
ironic sitting here on a podcast that's all about words. But yeah, what do you see in other people that makes you just know that person's full of gratitude?
When I think of people that are full of gratitude, and I feel very fortunate to be surrounded by a significant number of them. It's all about their actions
Yeah.
and their actions of empathy, their actions of care, their actions of creating positivity. Each time I cross connect or am part of these individuals in people's lives, it makes me a better person and the world a better place.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel the same way. It's easy to see you and I run in a lot of similar circles, the family business space, of course, the small business diversity network where we both have the opportunity to serve,
That's right.
and just in the community. And just I love being around you. I mean, that's what I feel what emanates from your not just your words, but it's just easy when you look at you, when people look at you and see that your name Tam, means heart. That's really fun. We had a lot of
I feel the same way. I feel deeply connected to you. I'm a better person because you're in my life. Each time whether we text every day, the close bond that we've created, the organizations that we've served together, it's always made positive emotions emit. We live in a world of negative emotions,
yeah.
and it's great to be able to combat that with gratitude. And I do have a deep feeling of gratitude being around you and being around the organizations that you've mentioned and each of the people that we've met together, that we've introduced together and created memories together.
Yeah, lots of memories and a lot
Lots.
more memories ahead. I'm sure. I won't even say I hope because I know that we have a lot more memories
We
ahead.
know. We know.
What A couple more questions here, and we like to keep this short. You and I have spent a lot of time together, and we've done podcasts together before, and we'll do more podcasts down the road. Back when, I mean, the hashtag Stop Asian Hate was a huge issue during COVID and has been prior to that and has will continue, I'm sure, as long as there is diversity and division in our world, there will be certain groups that have an animosity towards other groups, whether it's warranted or not. In this case, it's not. Uh, but how do you maintain that love? How do you maintain that gratitude when the world is telling it? My guest yesterday, Meredith Elliott Powell, and I have a question for you that she posed for you that I'm going to give you in a moment after this one. But we turn on the news, which is really intended to make us mad. I'm quoting her. You turn on the news right away and you're pissed off about something they're talking about. How do you maintain that spirit of gratitude and love that you maintain when people have had prejudice against you and um, you have seen pain and suffering and things in your life, and being an immigrant from Vietnam and going back 50 years, and then even today. I mean, how do you maintain that attitude of gratitude, if you will, when the whole world is trying to tell us otherwise?
You know, having an attitude of gratitude, first is a choice and an intention.
Hmm.
I'm an eternal optimist.
Yeah, yeah,
Buzz Lightyear is my favorite Disney character, right? So
I love
it's
it.
everything. I see everything in positive terms, and I want to be the I want to spread joy like you. In our conversations, in our friendships and relationships. I've always looked at our situation, whether as a refugee or being the result of a war or being or coming to America, which is full of gratitude. I look at my life, and I really emphasize and highlight the great things that have happened, and and there's something about there's something about positivity that's very contagious, Ed. When I'm around people who are positive, that exude gratitude, it's very contagious.
Hmm.
And it's the contagious part of love. And if there's an antidote or solution to hate or a solution to negative things that make you mad and frustrated, these negative emotions, it's love, it's gratitude, and it's
Yeah.
choosing intentionally to focus in on these things. That's why we get along so well, and our conversations go all the way to service, being servant leaders, being grateful, being so grateful for everything that's in our lives. I always choose that, and I'll continue to always choose that. I can't help but think back to nailing it for America and,
Yeah.
and what you and I did together with a greater community, with our Rolodex volunteering during the COVID-19 pandemic. Every time there's something like that or an event in the world, you and I will lean into trusted relationships in our network to amplify this.
You and I and that group of folks that went to Vietnam in late 2019 set the stage, I think, for what we were able to do and others around us were able to do during COVID. I mean, that bond that we already had that grew even stronger with that couple of weeks in Vietnam together, and just that opportunity to be in another part of the world, for me to be able to see the world where you were born and the world that is
Yeah.
such a strong heritage for you and your family was off the charts for me. You mentioned
Ed,
the word, oh yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
No, I just wanted to note that you, it's very evident and clear that I'm a Vietnamese refugee, came over at the age of 1 from the war.
Right.
You, as you've always shared, you're a white male, multi-generational here, and you've never made me feel like a foreigner. I want to share that. You've always made me feel like a deep brother. Uh, when you and I get together, we don't ever see, and we don't it's like we're connected so deeply. It's very, very deep and interesting. It's a feeling and emotion that is created, and so that love and that care for each other is exuded through our communication, and we're able to share a love for above and beyond our cultures and
Yeah.
shared cultures now. Over sports, over
Yeah.
travel, over shared experiences, over organizations we're part of. when we bond like that, it's a pretty incredible feeling, an incredible thing that you're able to create. I just wanted to acknowledge that, and you do that for a lot of people, and
Well,
so
it's
thank you
it's
for doing that.
um
I just wanted to share, a thank you for that.
I appreciate that, and the feeling is obviously very, very mutual and reciprocated. Yeah, I encourage everyone, find your TAM, find that person in your life. I mean, really,
I
honestly,
found my
it's
head, I found my
well,
heart. Heart's a heart.
and I don't mean that this happened for you and me intentionally because it didn't. So it probably is ridiculous for me to say what I'm about to say, but it just evolved. The friendship you and I have, yeah, our heritage is different, our, background is different. What you fought through to get to where you are today is different than what I've gone through to get to where I am today. But I just encourage anybody that might be listening today to look at people that appear different than you and find that common denominator. Find what it is about them that you love. Not, I don't mean to get emotional about this, but like Meredith said yesterday, we turn on the news and we get mad. We look at what's going on in this world and we see people who feel differently than we do, who believe differently than we do, and we judge them and we're harsh and we struggle with why people make the choices that they make. And my challenge to all of us is to find the commonalities, find the common denominator. For Tam and me out of the gate, it was family business. It's gone so much. If family business wasn't even a thing to us, the friendship would be just as strong as it is because it just goes so much
Yeah.
deeper than that. Sorry, I didn't mean to get all teary and stuff, but you struck a chord there, and it just hit me that, friendship
Uh,
doesn't
Yeah.
see
You know what?
race.
Our
Friendship
unique
doesn't
difference
see
is
anything.
we have unique paths and unique differences, whether it's our cultures, our religions, our heritages.
Yeah,
But we have so much more in common. And I love that we've
yeah,
always emphasized the things we have in common, whether it's family business, whether it's sports, whether it's
yeah,
travel, whether it's our experiential food experiences or
yeah.
lunch we go to. It's incredible how much more we broke bread found in common, and we're able to share our unique differences and learn from each other. I've learned so much about American culture through your lived experiences and your experiences in life. It's made me better.
Well, and you've opened up the world to me too in many, many ways. Um, Yeah, Tam talks about food. I mean, when we're sitting down over coffee in early 2019, Tam's our teacher. The building, if you're watching on YouTube, that's behind him on his backdrop is the
That's
business school at Cal State Fullerton. One of
Ed's
those buildings he's
office,
pointing at is
director of Center
that
for
was
Family Business.
where my office was for 11 years. Tam was teaching our family business dynamics class and made the class very special by bringing in great speakers and leaders from all over, every community you can imagine, and taking the students out to visit different family businesses throughout his tenure teaching that course. And early 2019, we sat down in Little Saigon over coffee and talked about what can we do? How can we take this class to the next level? And I think Tam and I both were thinking, maybe we go overnight to visit a family business up north, or maybe we extend out geographically a little bit. And that conversation led to, 9 or 10 months later, a 2 week trip to Vietnam with the students, which was one of the greatest trips, one of the greatest non-family trips for me. Obviously, travel with my family is at the tip. Um,
Ed,
but I
I'm
felt
so
like I was with
grateful.
family.
I'm grateful to meet two legendary, family business owners. One, Lindsay Snyder of In and Out, and two, Jeannie Buss of the Lakers. Legendary family businesses that I can only dream of meeting. And because of you directly, going to that Hall of Fame event each of those years, meeting each of them has immensely. When you meet people that you admire from afar and you meet families that you respect and you want to learn from, and then you actually get to meet them in person through your brother, Ed Hart, it's pretty incredible.
Well,
So grateful for
I
that.
was just paying it forward because I was introduced to each of them by other great legendary people in my life, and it's fun to be able to pass that forward. So I have a couple questions left for you. We could go on and on and on, but in the spirit of the staying, we've already passed the 15-minute mark, but I don't think too many people are tuning out. I have my previous guest, so I'm going to ask you momentarily to leave a question for my next guest. But Meredith yesterday posed this question, not knowing it was going to you necessarily, but just for the next guest. And her question is, what is the greatest tip you can pass along to help people learn how to navigate this uncertain marketplace because we are
Yeah.
certainly in a very uncertain marketplace.
The greatest tip was our lived experience together, Ed.
Yeah.
We leaned into love and trust in our relationships that was built over extended time authentically. And when you're able to do that, you can do pretty amazing things in the world. In
Yeah.
fact, you could feed 85,000 people. You could provide personal protective equipment to the tune of $30 million
Mm.
worth, like you and I led. You can change communities during the times when it's most difficult. And so I always believe in the trusted and loving network that you've built over time. And during times of need, you know who your friends are, you know who your family and chosen family are. So
Yeah.
that would be that would be my tip.
I love that. Look for differences and lean in.
Yes.
Don't run away, but lean in.
Don't
And
run
that's, I
away.
mean, the greatest relationships in my life on the outside looking in might not make sense to other people, and they're the greatest relationships and friendships that I have. And it hasn't been a conscious choice to lean in. I think that's just how I was taught. But yeah, I mean, I'm so grateful that I've
Let's keep
leaned into
leaning
this
in, brother.
relationship with you. So, well, since Meredith left a question for you, here's your opportunity. And I can't even tell you who my next guest is.
Okay.
I have it scheduled, but I'm not looking at my calendar right now. So, as you know, the spirit of this conversation is about about gratitude or business or leadership or leaning in or anywhere you want to go. Is there a question that comes to mind that you'd like me to make sure I ask my next guest?
Yes. Before I sign off, just want to thank you, Ed. I just wanted to also thank all the graduates. I've been at two graduations this week. I just wanted to give a shout out to my senior high school son who just graduated this
That's right.
Wednesday. And then, of course, all the graduates at Advanced Beauty College who just graduated yesterday. So it's reflection week and gratitude week
Hmm.
in terms of high school and college graduations. But and then, of course, to our fathers, I dedicate this podcast to our late fathers for upcoming Father's Day. But the question that I would ask is there someone in your life currently, right as today, that you feel deep gratitude for, but haven't publicly acknowledged? Who would that be and why? So,
Oh, I love that. That's a
yes, there
great
you go.
question. I can't wait to whoever my next guest is
Share that with your next guest.
yeah.
Thank you
Do,
so much, Ed. Appreciate the Friday the 13th time together.
do you dare to answer that question of your own?
Do I dare? Yeah, I dare.
All right.
I dare. I dare. I As of this moment, the person who I feel the most deepest gratitude for that I'd like to publicly acknowledge on this podcast. I've acknowledged her before and sometimes, but we go through lulls of time get so busy, and this has been
Yeah.
a very extra busy week, is my wife Christine.
Hmm.
My wife Christine, I don't get to publicly acknowledge her every day in the race that we run of life, the events that we run too. But I just wanted to publicly acknowledge she's in my heart, she's in my mind. And Christine, I love you. Thank you for being the most incredible person and human in my life. And yes, she displays gratitude and grace, and I just wanted to share that because she doesn't get that acknowledgement every day. She's the rock behind the scenes.
And in the spirit of honoring Father's Day, she's the one that made you a father.
That's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's
Yeah.
right. Thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Best
Well,
gift ever.
yeah, and I'll quickly, the picture over my microphone here is of my wife, Lorianne, and me and Lorianne this week has been in Utah visiting with our sons and four of our grandsons. And so if I've ever felt more gratitude for my wife, it's this week because she's not here.
Yeah.
And, it's been a week and I miss her. And I know you watch and listen, hon, and I just want you to know I love you and I miss you and hurry home. And,
Hello, Lorianne.
uh, yeah,
Cheers to Lorianne
well,
and
my
Chris.
best to you and your beautiful bride, Christine. She means the world to me. I've spent much time in your home with your family and, just grateful for you, brother. Many great memories in the past 11, 12, 13, however many
Yeah.
years it's been, and many more to come. So thanks for the time this morning. And thank you all for staying a little extra with us as my dear friend Tam Nguyen and I have spent this beautiful Friday morning together. So thank you all for watching and listening. Go make someone else's day great. Tell them how much you love them. Tell them how grateful you are for them. It will make their day, and I promise it'll make your day as well. So, Tam, thank you for that challenge, and thank you for just being the man that you are.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you, everyone.
Love you,
Bye-bye.
my friend.
Love you.